The first inductee tonight has covered St. Louis sports since 1981 when he joined KMOX to co-host Sports Open Line. Mike Claiborne has served in various on-air roles covering SLU and UMSL basketball, the Blues, the Rams, and the Cardinals. He joined the Cardinals radio network in 2006. Please welcome to the stage Mike Claiborne's longtime friend and former sports talk partner, Bob Ramsey.
Thank you, Art. It's great to see you again. The executives don't hang out with the talent like they used to, but it's good to see you anyway. I'm here to introduce Mike, so let me tell you a little bit about him and our relationship and how it you can see how it kind of forged who he became and why he's here tonight. I didn't meet Mike Claiborne until we did our first game together, 1986, St. Louis University Billikens basketball. We caught the wave of a SLU resurgence at just the right time. Coach Rich Grauer assembled a mostly St. Louis squad, including NBA first-round pick Anthony Bonner. Of course, I knew who Mike was already. His work on KMOX, in particular, his rapport on the air with Hall of Famer Bob Gibson, was already known as award-winning level broadcasting. What stood out immediately to me as we did our first game, basically as strangers, was the ease with which we meshed. That was all Mike. What wasn't a gimme was traveling with a new partner. In those days, you roomed together. So strangers rooming on the road, well, you generally either become best friends or sworn enemies. Fortunately, the former occurred for us. It was as if we had known each other our entire lives, and again, that's Mike. What really forged that professional and personal relationship was the night at the Larry Bird Hotel in Indiana, Terre Haute, Indiana. We ate there. Actually, it really came together after we ate. Food poisoning hit the both of us. We were in the same room. You get it. If you get a chance to talk to Mike a little later this evening, he can give you the details. I learned right away about Mike's character. The things that carried over to his work have been universally recognized by his peers and fans alike. Unfailing honesty, unwavering integrity, unmatched work ethic, foxhole loyalty, and of course, his sense of humor. Mike started All Sports Radio in St. Louis and now has become a longtime member of the Cardinals broadcast crew, where he shines in multiple roles. A dream job that every baseball fan has, and Mike realized that dream through hard work and immense talent. And there's one other skill that Mike possesses that has served him well, his talent, and it is a talent, of being connected. There's no man on the planet that is connected to more people than Mike Claiborne. And I'm not talking about just in the world of sports. No, that's a given. He knows everybody in every sport. We did women's team handball together. He knew everybody. But and if he doesn't know him, he's only 1 degree of separation away. I'm talking about musicians, movie stars, generals, spies, politicians. He knows them all. For instance, here's a perfect example. He may not know Kim Jong-un, but I guarantee you right now he can get Dennis Rodman on the phone. Mike has always given back to the community, has a fantastic family, adored by his daughters, and known by my kids as Uncle Mike. Let's learn a little bit more about Mike Claiborne.
Who are you?
That is a very good question. I'm finding out myself for the first time. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy who was born in Missouri. Grew up listening to people like Harry Carey and Jack Buck and all the other great announcers before me, and found that this is something I wanted to do, and here I am.
How did you get started in this great business of broadcasting that can really be one of the most frustrating businesses of all, but it can get a hold of you and you can't let go?
It started when I was in college. I was working at the school newspaper, and the guy who ran the radio station basically said, you know, you talk so much, you ought to think about radio. And back then, you know, I was keeping track of stats and all that. So I had my own little radio show. It's called Sports of All Sorts. It was kind of like the Brent Musburger commentary every day. I'd have something to say. So one thing led to another, and I had a show, started doing color analyst work for the basketball and football team. And one thing led to another. So when I got back to St. Louis, I worked for a weekly called the St. Louis American. And Jim Holder was working at KMOX, and he and I would see each other at different practices. And so he said, hey, you ever thought about coming on KMOX? I said, yeah, every day. He said, well, how'd you like to come on? So he said,
Now, what year was that?
1981, February 12th, 1981.
I remember it because I was there at that time.
Yeah. So I did that show. One thing led to another, and Bob Hyland, God rest his soul, saw something in me that I didn't even know I had. And I did that for a while, and then all of a sudden, I get the call from Mike Shannon. He says, hey, I've been talking to John Rooney. You ever thought about coming back to KMOX? Or coming back to baseball? I said, no. He said, why not? I said, well, nobody's asked me. He said, well, I'm asking. And because of you and Mike, I found myself here. That was 2006. I think it was like the last month of the season.
Yeah, it was getting close,
Yeah.
and you came along at a good time for the ride.
I showed up at the right time.
But that was at KTRS, and
Yeah.
then moved over to KMOX, and you're still doing managers' interviews and play-by-play, working with Ricky Horton and me, and it's a great atmosphere.
We're all family. We spend more time with each other than we do with our families at home. We laugh. There's not a day we don't walk in and out of one of these booths and not have something to laugh about. But, you know, as intense as it can be, we've always found a way to be there with each other, for each other, and watch our families grow and things of that nature. So that's the neat thing about it that people don't know. They hear us, and they hear us having fun, but if they were only in one of these rooms before a game or even after a game, they'd say, yeah, I want to sign up for that.
Claibs, I could not be happier for you going into the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame. So well deserved. You're a great teammate. You've been terrific at this for a long time. My sincere congratulations, my friend.
Hey, Claibs, congratulations on your selection for the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Nobody has done it better than you. You have been such an inspiration to so many people, including me, and that wonderful place is a much better place now that you're part of that remarkable fraternity. Congratulations, pal. We all love you and enjoy this special day.
Well, you love all sports.
That's
I know
true.
that. You know everybody. But think about the job, though, from when you started to where you are now, and what it has afforded you in getting to know so many people all over the world.
You know, that's a great point. If not for this job, I wouldn't see so many places around the world. I wouldn't go to London to watch a baseball game. I wouldn't go to all these great cities we go to, and you meet people there that are lifelong friends. We've met presidents and entertainers and you name it, generals. But if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't know any of those people.
Hi, it's Mike Kelly, the voice of the Missouri Tigers. Michael, congratulations. I am so proud of you. This is such a well-deserved honor. The thing that I will always remember about Mike Claiborne is the true friendship that you showed to me immediately upon my arrival at KMOX back in 1988. Yes, we're that old.
I appreciate your help and guidance along the way throughout my broadcasting career. This could not have happened to a better guy. And again, look forward to celebrating this award with you.
Is there something in broadcasting you have not done that you would like to?
I think I've checked all the bases for what I wanted to do. And ironically, when I got into the business, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I liked talk radio. It was fun at that time. And then I got into other things with regard to being involved with the team and listening to you.
And you've been an agent.
Yeah, I was in the sports agent business too, which was a lot of fun. I had a couple of first-round draft choices and a couple of Super Bowl champions, and that was a lot of fun. I had a guy play in the NBA Finals, and you get to meet players in various sports. And so now when I hear the business of sport, I have a better understanding than most people do. And a lot of these agents I still know and stay in touch with. So that's a fun element for me.
I don't know anybody in St. Louis who knows more about sports than Mike Claiborne. And he also happens to be one of the best guys I've ever known in the industry. Congratulations, Mike.
Hey, Michael, in addition to being a Hall of Fame person, now you're a Hall of Fame broadcaster as well. I've always known that, but it's great to see you get recognized for something that you're well deserving of, and you've helped so many people in the industry, including me. Congratulations on making another Hall of Fame.
What does this induction mean to you?
It means more to me than I thought it could. You know, I've gone into a couple other Hall of Fames, and I was very honored by that, but this is the highest honor we have in the state of Missouri. It's a great honor. It's truly probably the greatest honor that I think I've had in my life other than the birth of my kids.
Well, you thought the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame induction was fun, right?
Yeah, it was a blast.
This is too.
I can't wait.
He's Mike Claiborne. I know who he is now.
This is Mike's night, but it's a great night for me too, and it's an honor to introduce him for his induction into the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, my best friend and one of the great broadcasters of our time, Mike Claiborne.
Take this right back to the room. I don't want to lose it. Thank you. Have fun. You can sit down now. It's okay. It's cool. Thank you very much. First of all, good evening to everyone. The weather was a little challenging, so for everyone who was able to come out this evening, I really appreciate it, and I know I can speak on behalf of my colleagues and inductees as far as this, feeling the same way. Love to congratulate the inductees who came in with me. This is going to be a night we'll never forget for a lot of reasons. We are celebrating this with our family and our friends, and we're getting old. You know, we're old. And that's one of the reasons why we get this award, because we've done so much. But me being a leadoff man, I don't think I've ever been a leadoff man other than leading the way to go to the principal's office because I was in trouble for something. But I will accept this honor tonight. So being a leadoff man tonight, there's one thing you're going to hear other than from me. I didn't do it by myself, because I'm sure my colleagues tonight will be able to tell you the same thing. And for me, I'd like to start off by thanking some people. We'll start with God, because if it wasn't for God giving me the gifts and the tools and the guidance to get where I am today, I wouldn't be here, period. Would not be here. My parents, when I told them that I wanted to get into broadcasting, and my dad was like, well, wait a minute, how much does that pay? You know, he wanted me to have a real job somewhere, and I told him what I wanted to do, and my parents were so supportive, and again, I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for them. People who aren't here: Robert Hyland, greatest radio man in the history of the business. Mike Shannon, you all know Mike Shannon. I know Mike Shannon. You all know what he meant to me. Bob Gibson, Jack Buck. People who all saw something in me that I didn't see in myself at the time, and I'm just glad they just gave me a little extra time to be able to develop a skill. And for all the teachers and coaches that have been part of my life, I thank you for your patience. I know I was no day at the beach for some of you, but you know, it is what it is, and I appreciate your patience in letting me come back to practice the next day. There's some people who aren't here that I definitely want to give thanks to. Guys I grew up with: Dave Robinson, Brad Edwards, Darrell Bills, Jimmy Williams, Dr. Rick Lehman, and you saw Frank Cusimano, and one of my best friends, Ozzie Smith. Obviously, we had another issue going on in St. Louis with Whitey Herzog and his memorial service, and you know, I just didn't want to forget those guys because they meant so much to me over the course of my life. My broadcast family: John Rooney, they don't make him any better than him, and Ricky Horton, and Jim Jackson, who you all have heard about for so many years. He's been the glue. And then, you know, you have people like Matt Pauley, who's filling in for me tonight. Joe Pott, Chip Carey, Brad Thompson, Jimmy Ballgame, some of the people, Jimmy the Cat Hayes, Alexa Dat. You know, we're such a family that, you know, we're together so much, we have so much fun with each other. And I can't go without thanking the managers that I work with: Mike Matheny, one of the greatest men on the planet; Oliver Marmol, Mike Schilt, the coaches, and all the players that I've dealt with in various sports over the years that have made this job so much fun for me. the PR staff with the Cardinals, Brian Bartow and Michael Whitty and Chris Tuno, and all the people in the front office that I've had a chance to work with, John Mozeliak and a number of other people that have made this thing, again, so much fun. Because I am a guy who likes to have fun. I don't know whether you know this or not. I have been known to be a guy who likes to have a good time. So now for the people who are here, I want to thank you all. I'm going to start with my family. My daughter, I have 2 daughters. One is here. The other one couldn't make it. My firstborn, 9:49 p.m., April 1st. Never forget it. I was there. It was right between halves of a basketball game. And my wife came in and said, I think it's time to go. I said, well, hold on. We got 2 more minutes to go. And anyway, one of the greatest moments of my life, watching Taylor Elise Claiborne being born. Her significant Matthew Smith. I love this guy for so many reasons. He's a real man. He's doing a great job raising his son and his kids. And, man, I'm so glad that you're part of what we are. Thank you for what you mean to my daughter. I said I wasn't going to cry, okay? I'm that guy. My daughter said, here we go. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But you know what? I'm looking around, and I look at my guys in the audience, guys I grew up with like Sam Seeley. Boy, we have some stories, don't we? Howard Richards, his dad and my dad used to hang out together, and there are some real stories when those 2 used to run together. And you guys don't have any idea how much you guys mean to me. You know, when you have friends like Tony Sansone and Vernon Buckner and Andre Nelson and Shara and Susan, my little sister, it doesn't get any better because you all have always had my back when I wasn't sure. Steve Savard, one of the best teammates you'll ever have. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. One of the best people I've ever been around. And for you to be here, brother, means a lot. And we have some stories. We have some stories. I look around, I think about Steve and what he's meant to me. And this table right here, Steve Moore. How long we been together, man? A long time. We both had a lot more hair. But Steve Moore is one of the greatest radio people I've ever been around, but more importantly, he's one of the greatest friends you could ever have. Ben Boyd. I knew you when you were a pup, man, and you've grown up so much, man, and you were like my guy. Everybody loves Ben and his family. Joe Roderick, you and I have had so many good laughs together, and we work together. ClaibsOnline.com, in case you haven't seen it. You checked it out. You can check it out. Hey, somebody's got to plug it. And Dan Farrell, the great Dan Farrell. When you think about the Cardinals, you think about all the great players. This guy here was the face of this team. He was such a great leader. He's retired now, but he's meant so much to so many people in our business. And Dan, for you to be here, man, means more than I could ever imagine. So thank you for being here. All right, so I wanted to thank all those folks. And there are a lot of other people I really want to thank, but I don't want to be here all night, and I know you don't want to be here either. So we're going to get into the meat of this thing. You know, there's one other person I have to thank, and he introduced me. And when I think about him, I can't put it into words because there are no words to describe how much I love him. I love you, Bob Ramsey. You're my guy. Thank you. So let's talk about a few other things. I stand here tonight, and I'm deeply humbled by and profoundly grateful to accept this prestigious honor to be in the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame. It's a big deal in our business. It's huge in our business. And I didn't really know until I started looking at the names. I'm like, okay, how the hell did I get in this thing? Okay? But I'm here, so I'm glad, I'm grateful. But I know it's something I'll always cherish. And, you know, for broadcasting, for me, it's a profession, of course, but it's a lifelong passion. I mean, you really want to do this, you have to want to really like it. You know, calling the highs and lows, it's more than anything that you can imagine, but for me, it's always been fun. I'll tell people, man, work hard at having fun. Because if you work hard at what you're doing and you have fun, mission accomplished, right? In this world of broadcasting, it's not merely storytellers or anything along that line, because we're conduits of information, descriptions and accounts, and voices of reason is what we try and be. We can shape the narratives and challenges and perceptions. We can also inspire change when needed. And for the power that comes with it, it's a profound responsibility on our part to uphold the highest standard in integrity, authenticity, and of course, working hard to have fun, all right? I stand here tonight, and I'm acutely aware of the profound responsibility that comes with this honor. Like my colleagues tonight, we get it.
we understand what this is all about. We know what it takes, and we're making sure we maintain standards for who's next. That's what we want to make sure they can abide by the standards we try and set. In closing, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the Missouri Broadcast Hall of Fame, their staff, their committee for making this such a wonderful night for me, my family, my colleagues, and of course the audience here this evening, because you guys have done such a tremendous job in staying in touch, and I know I can be no day at the beach and trying to catch up with me. So thank you, Terry. I tip my cap to you wherever you are. Thank you so much. I didn't get in this business to get into a Hall of Fame. Nobody gets in the business to get in the Hall of Fame. But I'm in it now, and I like it. I like it a lot. I wouldn't trade it for anything except that Powerball ticket for the night. I think it's, what, $550 million? So maybe I'd give the trophy back, but I'll still keep the title as Hall of Famer. Again, I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and being part of this. This is a night I won't forget. There's some other people that I'm thinking about right now that can't be here because of a family issue, and my prayers are with them. But for all of you all here tonight, let's have a good time. Look around the room and be thankful that we're here, and being thankful for who we're here with, and honoring the people here. Wendy Weiss, I'm getting ready to shut up. I just thought about Wendy. Wendy and I were at KMOX back in the day, and there was this DJ at another station, and he was taking shots at Wendy, and I was like, why is he doing that? She's cool. And we played in a softball game, a charity softball game, and he was at third base, and I hit a triple. And he was standing at the bag, and I had him lined up. I was going to put him in the dugout. And I went in and slid hard, and I popped up. I said, if you ever say another word about her, I'm going to go through you next time. And from that point on, because I'm not that guy who wants to take shots at people, but Wendy was always a great professional for so many reasons. And that Monday, she came up and shook my hand like, thank you very much. Wendy's got that firm handshake, and I was like, oh, okay, we're good. But Wendy, I love you and what you meant to the business. Brian, as Art said, you guys started, man, I remember I was trying to catch the bus to grade school when you guys were doing the weather. It's been a while. And the problem is you look younger than me, and so I don't know what's going on with the water you're drinking, but it's great to have you as well as the other people who I'm hoping to get a chance to talk to a little later tonight. So I'm going to shut up because these other people want to talk, and I don't want anybody falling asleep in their salad. Thank you so much for this great honor. May God bless you all.